Okay, welcome back. It's in the Weekend Politics. My name is Joseph Iyak. Wherever it is you're watching us from, this is CRBC TV, and we're live here in the city of Calabar. Now, on the 29th of May 2023, His Excellency the Governor of Cross River State, Senator Prince Dr. Basil II, appointed a man to stay on the saddle as the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation for 3 years and some fractions. He did his job very meticulously well, and just last week, Monday, His Excellency the Governor had to move him into a ministry as we get close to the electioneering period. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the new Commissioner for Information, Pastor Honorable Ekpenyong Kobum. So good to have you join us, Honorable Commissioner. Welcome to Weekend Politics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe.
The last time I had you on the show, you came as a Honorable Commissioner for Transport. Now it's a different ball game together.
My pleasure.
Now let's quickly go straight into the issue. Now, as we get up to the campaigns into the transition into a next term, there's been a lot of criticisms, against this administration, especially one coming from a gentleman who is not from Cross River State, but he has benefited quite a lot from the system during the last administration, who is taking a lot of swipes on the leadership of this administration, and he has raised a lot of allegations. So those are the allegations we have to thrash tonight as the image maker of the government. Let us put most of these things in perspective. Let's raise the very first one on the show tonight, where he called the 150 minibus procurement as a scam. Honorable Commissioner, I'd like you to speak to this statement.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to disagree with your choice of words in introducing the personage of Mr. Peterson. By all standards, his character does not portray that of a gentleman. However, I'm not surprised that build up to the elections, there seemed to be a lot of scramble, to attack the capacity and the character of His Excellency Senator Basil II, and to also blackmail, indulge in all manner of mudslinging. That is not politics. That is character assassination. I would speak as a member of the State Executive Council on this note. First and foremost, I was in the ESCO when that approval was made. And I want to tell you that procurement has been made alongside other procurements which were made in my ministry, as a build-up to the empowerment program which the government wants to engage in. But the allegation portrays desperation, just like so many other, things that have been spewed by the young man in a desperate attempt to impress, his contractors, those who've contracted him to bring down the government of Cross River State. He has benefited from Cross River State. And the first issue that should bother us is, what is his interest and concern in Cross River State? This is Africa. Every child comes from his father's place. What's his interest? And if you want to engage the government constructively, let's talk on policies. Let's talk on, the trajectory of the government. If you think, on the contrary, bring your articulations to bear, and let's look at it. When you begin to attack a man and you derogatively derail to the point of attacking his wife, you attack his dog, you attack his car, that shows that you are on a mission. And if you do an analysis thus far, you would realize that this is a desperado who is seeking for attention, who is out to pull down the government, who is out to make sure that he impresses those who have contracted him. And you would not be surprised. This assault is coming from three prongs. We know the characters behind them. And maybe before the end of this program, I would leave a word for them, because under my watch, they would come to know that the government doesn't just have fangs. We have teeth and we can bite. So the issue of the procurement, 150 minibuses have been procured. Let them send their agents to go to the presidential villa, lodge. The vehicles are parked there. 100 500 electric keke have been procured. They are somewhere. 200 electric motorcycles have been procured. In the last Executive Council, we approved the procurement of more items to make up all that His Excellency wants to give up to the people of Cross River State. So you can see the desperation of the supposed opposition, but we have to categorize this opposition into different categories. There are those who earnestly are desiring power, okay? But of course they are lacking in their capacity because they don't have what it takes. We also have those who have been contracted to become agents for the recolonization of Cross River, like what you see is happening in River State. That's what they wish for us, but God is faithful. We would not be able to derogate into that level. That's the position.
Great. So now, where is he? Because this gentleman, or in your word, you said he's not a gentleman.
He's not a gentleman.
Okay. So I wouldn't want to use words because that might not really sound media friendly.
No, just call him a man.
But Peterson, so to say, where is he getting his information?
What information does Peterson have? Peterson has flawed information.
Okay.
Information that cannot be authenticated. No facts, no basis. For me, he is just ranting. Look at the issue of the 1 billion naira that was approved by the Executive Council to help pay up the bills of Cali Air stroke ValueJet. It shows you that this is an uninformed person. You don't speak on matters that you don't have authority. I have a background in aviation. I joined ADC Airlines as export officer. I became import officer. I became cargo manager. I left ADC Airlines for Air Atlantic. I was cargo manager, West Africa. One of the most difficult sectors to operate in aviation is scheduled flight passenger service. Because for you to be able to make an impact, you have to build the route. You choose the route, you build. When you build confidence, that's when you can begin to enjoy full load. Now, every landing in aviation you pay. If you stay more than 3 hours, you pay parking. You have fueling. You have catering. You have ground operation bills to pay. Now, aviation is capital intensive. First and foremost, I want to make this clear that what we had before now was an absolute misnomer. The past administration dabbled into aviation, but procured the wrong infrastructure. You don't go in trying to build a road like Calabar, and you go and acquire a Boeing 737-400 series, which is over 100 and something seats. Where do you have the passengers to build up? The domestic economy of Calabar had collapsed over time. And so there's nothing attracting people to come to Calabar. So how do you build the passengers? So those aircraft were flying purely for ego. They could not pay the bills.
So it was not economically viable?
Absolutely. The choice of infrastructure was completely based on wrong information and lack of expertise. For me, if you ask me, I would tell you maybe it was for some onerous reasons that procurement was made. Now, this is the first time we are acquiring the appropriate infrastructure for that service. I had the privilege of doing the oversight in the review committee for the past administration. And I want to put this on record because I want the past administration to know there was nothing tangible in the handover note. It was like a handover note of a kiosk. Do you understand me? For an airline, there was nothing on the aircraft spare part backup. There was absolutely nothing, no information. Just colored photocopy of the aircraft.
As a handover note?
Yes, that's what this administration inherited. So basically, the administration inherited liability. Now, when you start flying a service, you cannot break even automatically. I'm sure you've traveled of late. We're just trying to build up the confidence. And people are now beginning to come to Calabar because of the confidence that they repose in this administration. So, who pays for the gap of the operations which has not been profitable, the government has to step in to protect its investment and pay up so that the service can continue. No other airline would take Calabar route seriously. You have been, I'm sure, a witness of what happens with Ibom Air. They cancel flights at will. So this service must operate if we must open the economy of the state, get people to be able to have the assurance that they can get into Calabar as at when due and get out of Calabar as at when due. So from my analysis, you can see that the young man is just looking for what to pick to blackmail and to bring down those government. He is absolutely uninformed and arrogantly stupid and unintelligent.
The 1 billion that he raised, can you talk to us on that?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The 1 billion was raised to fill the gaps of the bills, the landing, the fueling, and all of that, which could not be paid because the service was not making maximum profit. We were not having full house. Those gaps arise. Aviation is capital intensive. If you're going to aviation, you must have the resources because it will take time before you begin, to break even. And for you to break even, you must build confidence in the route. Now everybody knows if you're going to Calabar, you can fly ValueJet, Cali Air. You understand? Flights are not cancelled. It didn't come like a flash of the pan. It came at a cost. It is that confidence that necessitated that the state government should step in to handle that situation so the service can continue to fly. Nobody will give you fuel if you're not credit worthy. Nobody will give you overflight if you're not credit worthy. But when you have established credibility, you understand, they know, oh no, they will pay their bills. So now the airline is beginning to make profits. I expect that when somebody wants to speak based on proper and founded information. Carry out your research, don't be hasty. But you can see what is going on. It's just an operation to bring down a government. By all means, attack, say anything within the confines of your safety in a foreign land. Why not come home? I want to challenge him to a debate. He's been running his mouth everywhere. The past government is better than this government and all of that. I dare say anybody who is convinced and has the capacity, I want to engage him in a debate on the achievements of this administration and the performance index.
Honourable Commissioner, let me quickly find out. The man, we are used to using gentlemen, but you don't seem to be comfortable with that gentleman. But the young man in question here has been brandishing some documents, emanating from the school. And good enough, you are a member of the school. How true is that? Because
thank you very much.
I think Prosperians need to be clear on this. That look, maybe the information put out there by this guy is false.
Please, that man has not put up any information.
Okay.
ESCO documents are handled by different civil servants before it comes to ESCO. And after ESCO, the documents have to go back to pass through processes for the implementation of ESCO resolutions. If you tell me that there is a criminal activity that has taken place between X and Y, I have a background with the police, and you come with evidence to show that X money, which was meant for this, was moved contrary to its purpose and what have you, then we say you have evidence, you have documents. That is just an item document of the State Executive Council, which was treated. And you are alleging that the money that was so appropriated was not used for the purpose, which is a lie. The vehicles that have been acquired, they are there. And that confirms the fact that you've been spewing series of lies and acting on the spur of the moment. And because people just like to hear stories, they follow you. They believe. Now, if you have a fact, you can understand the severity of the offense the young man committed the last time when he called the sitting governor of Cross River State a criminal. That is gross insult and disrespect. And I want to challenge that young man. Let him publish the genealogy of his family. I want to see the greatest achiever in his genealogy, and let him know that being a governor is not an easy thing. You might not like him, but you must respect him, because he is higher and greater than you, even your village head. That's a gross insult. You don't disrespect a governor like that. You call him a criminal. Has he been tried by any competent court? That shows you the desperation.
Now, talk to us, Honourable Commissioner. Do you think that there's a mole in the system?
When you say mole, listen, in every system, maybe except very advanced secret service systems, you have disgruntled elements here and there. Let me shock you first and foremost. Every civil servant was employed by a particular government at one time or the other.
Exactly.
And by and large, maybe as at when they were not practicing the level of transparency that Senator Prince Basetu is practicing in employment, they were, being placed on those positions by their uncles, their cousins, and what have you. And they are still aligned with those personalities. So you cannot, by any means, say there is no mischief maker within the system. But I am yet to see any substantial document that I would say, has been compromised and it's incriminating. You understand? For me, nothing has happened actually. Nothing. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just a document that has passed through the hands of an administrative staff, and maybe he used his phone, do you understand, to scan and what have you. That's not an issue. The issue is this: the money so appropriated has been used for its purpose. So any attempt to say anything on the contrary is absolute mischief. And then, so you should ask, what necessitates the mischief? That should be the question. In the last 1 year, Senator Prince Basetu has done the abnormal, the unusual. He has stepped on toes. It has been the norm over time that our collective destiny be compromised, so that we are permanently economically subjugated. They have made offers to him as regards our oil wells, and he has turned it down. He said, look, I swore to an oath to project the image of the people first. That's what I stand for. That's a misnomer. Prior to now, such discussions do not come on the table. Two, and I want to say this because the spontaneity with which these issues have arisen shortly after the last set of primaries, and the blackmail coming that His Excellency refused to give certain people some tickets and what have you. But the question I will ask is, if you cannot get your tailor to sew a good shirt for you, is it me that will come and sew for you?
So you are saying that this is multifaceted.
Multifaceted.
It comes from the APC, so to say.
So
it also comes from the opposition party.
It comes from both within Cross River State and outside Cross River State. Yes.
Now, let me quickly take you up on the issue of opposition. Let's look at the man Arthur Jarvis. He's been on the social media giving what we call some political ballads. And by next month, the campaigns will start for the governorship elections. I'd like you to talk to let's look at the PDP. Is it in any way standing as a threat to the administration getting second term in 2027? Talk to us about
No. Arthur Jarvis is in the Efik nation, we respect age. Arthur Jarvis is like a senior brother. But you see, the Bible says, get wisdom, get understanding. And these issues are not, synonymous with age. Arthur Jarvis has a calling which God has given him the grace. He has started a university. But there seems to be a lot of distraction, And the Bible says you don't hold two things and climb a ladder. You understand? In fact, 3 or 4 days ago, my attention was drawn by one of my aides to a publication on social media that parents are withdrawing some of their students from Arthur Jarvis University because of the explosion of bedbug infestation within the hostels. And a friend of mine in the diaspora called to affirm. That being said, you can always have those situations arising when there is no concentration. But let's be very honest. Arthur Jarvis is not in the race. But I am thrilled by the latest gift I saw him exhibit. You know, I didn't know he was very good in ballad. So I would advise him that we should teach Efik ballad in his school and let him become a lecturer. Let all of us be focused on the purpose of our creation. What am I trying to say? After Jarvis came out to run in 2023.
Yeah.
The entirety of this race had been determined in 2023. The South was determined to take power. And what we expected was, we had two gentlemen from the South. Bring the ticket of your party to the South. Let us sit as a family and decide the best out of the two. Our brother was lacking in the capacity to wrestle the ticket of his party, and even opted to be running mate in 2023 to the then candidate. That is, by his thinking, the South should play second fiddle. And the other person raised the bar of the game and got the ticket to the South, and subsequently emerged as the governor of the state, and he is performing. Is it because the ticket has come to the South? That's why we have the school of ballad. But you see, power entails more than that. If you ask my opinion, I will advise my brother, go and focus on your calling. That is the only private university that we have. Because in this business, 2027, you are not in the game. Most certainly. When we begin to reel out the performance of His Excellency, those misinformations will fizzle out. That's my take. And if he is challenged by any means, I would kindly speak to the Minister of Agri to help send people to go and fumigate that school, because our children, our brothers, our sisters, our kid sisters, they are there. It's a serious matter. Let him be focused. That's his calling. Dabbling into politics. No. You don't use people's school fee to come and buy funds and all of that. No.
Okay, Commissioner, let's look at September. Campaigns will start, and this is just about some weeks from now. Let's look at what are we going into the field to talk to Cross Riverians for 2027.
We're going to the field to let Cross Riverians know that the confidence reposed in His Excellency has not been abused. In all facets, if I start to talk from my immediate past ministry, transportation, our performance is top-notch. Is it in health? Is it in education? Is it in infrastructure? Is it in science and technology? Where we are today, if any government in 8 years has this performance index, that government will be judged fair. But in 3 years, we are on top of our game. And we have so much to reel out to them, which we have done. First, everybody can sleep with their eyes closed. Hello, sir. God has relieved us from the causes of retirees. When people say that in the last government, Calabar was bubbling, Beer Parlour was full, at the expense of retirees who have stayed 35 years of their lives. Why won't causes come on us? Some have died causing the state. But in one fell swoop, His Excellency, he told us in ESCO, he said, if we don't honor our civil servants who have dedicated their lives to the service of this state, it can never be well with us. And he's attending to it faithfully. We're not owing salaries. The infrastructure continues to develop, and we're covering mileage. So what are we talking here? He has fixed aviation to make sure that he opens up Calabar for investment. All our assets that were sold, he has bought them back, for God's sake. He's been able to draw in $3.5 billion to be invested in the deep sea port, guaranteed, which is going to revolutionize the economy. What else are we talking about? We are at the verge of getting our status as an oil-producing state restored, which was completely out of the map. What are we talking? It is a confirmed fact that this man puts the interest of the people first. And so he can never be lacking in seeing the favor of God in all that he desires for the state.
Honorable Commissioner, sir, one thing about political discourse is that time is not always on our side. But just our last shot tonight, before we allow you to take a bow on the show tonight, we'd like you to talk to Cross-Riverians watching us now, to clear their minds from the campaign of calumny that is ongoing on the social media space, and give them their reassurances that, look, Cross River State is great.
Most sincerely, if this governor was not performing, if he was sharing money, he would have been heralded. But he is not a noisemaker. He's not putting signboards on the road to try to win minds when he is not performing. He is a silent performer. The facts are there. All we need, we're going to set up a chronicle of all of our performance in all sectors. Go and verify. Check where we were. Check where we are. I want to assure them that the man who is on the saddle wishes the best for us. So they should relax. These contractors, I heard last couple of days, was transferring money to people. He's sitting on so much money. So much money is paid to bring down this man, because Cross River State is blessed with a whole lot of natural resources, and people think they must have Cross River State under their bind. That's not possible. God is faithful.
Absolutely.
So I want Cross Riverians to give Senator Prince Bassey Otu maximum support. He deserves the confidence. He has proven his integrity, and he will not fail them.
Absolutely. Indeed, he will not fail them. Those are the closing lines of the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Pastor Honorable Ekpenyong Akaba. Thank you. Ekpenyong Kobo. I've been happy to talk about more on the show. Honorable Commissioner, it was a delight having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Indeed, you are a round peg in a round hole. We trust that we'll be having you more to talk to us on the achievement. No wonder His Excellency had to do a swap, bringing you into the Ministry of Information. You know how to launder the image of the system.
No, I'm just humble.
Absolutely. So we'll take a very short break. When we are back, we'll be having the State Coordinator of the Social Investment Program, Honorable Edem Gokon, PhD. We'll be talking to us about some national issues. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Weekend Politics returns shortly.